My fiance stood me up at the altar because he decided to run off with my maid of honor on our wedding day. When I tell you that I was blindsided, that's actually an understatement because never in a million years did I see this coming. Because one of the many crazy things about this whole situation is that it was my maid of honor, let's call her Camille, who's the one who set me up with my fiance in the first place. Camille and I started getting close about 4 years ago, and within the first few months of us being friends, she tells me that she knows the perfect guy for me. She thinks that we're gonna get along so well, and it ends up being one of her other best friends, let's call her Jenna's brother. And at this time, both Jenna and Camille had boyfriends. So for our first date, we did like a triple date. The three of us, their boyfriends, and then me and Jenna's brother who, okay, spoiler alert, ended up being my now ex-fiance. And then after that, I feel like I'm living the dream because I have this really great boyfriend. I start becoming best friends with Jenna, so I'm best friends with my boyfriend's sister, and we're all this big friend group. Me, Camille, Jenna, our boyfriends are all close. Like, life is good. But a big shift happened about 1.5 years ago because within a 3-month span, Camille and her long-term boyfriend broke up, and me and my fiance got engaged. So yeah, she tried to be happy for me. I could tell she was trying, but obviously she was really bummed, and I think it was probably pretty hard for her to see me getting engaged when she was going through this breakup. By this point in my life, Camille was my obvious choice for maid of honor. We were basically attached at the hip, and she was the best friend I had ever had. I guess not. But I had to sit down with her, and I told her that it was absolutely okay if she didn't want to be my maid of honor, because I understand that probably having so many conversations around a wedding and planning a wedding might be a lot for her right now, given her breakup. But she assured me that she wanted to do this. And obviously hindsight is 2020, because looking back now, I realized this is where things started to look weird and red flags were just waving everywhere that I was missing. Every time we were planning something for the wedding, she'd be like, okay, well, like, I'll just call your fiance and confirm with him that he likes that plan. I was like, why are you gonna call my fiance and ask him? I'll just ask him. I don't need you to do it. I also started noticing that anytime my fiance picked up his phone, there was a notification from Camille on it, and she had never really texted him before. I was so confused, and I asked her once, I was like, why are you texting my fiance so much? Like, what's going on? And I actually was an innocent question. I thought they were planning some kind of cute little surprise for me, and I was trying to be nosy. And she was like, you know, just maid of honor groom stuff. Like, maid of honor and groom do just text all the time. That's normal. And what do I know? Okay, I've never had a wedding before, so I don't know how much a groom and a maid of honor are supposed to text. She also started saying all the time how lucky I was. She was like, wow, you are so lucky that you just get to marry the absolute best man I've ever met. You are living the dream. He's incredible. And I'm just going with it because I'm like, yeah, you're right. He is incredible. I am lucky. Looking back now, she wanted that. She wanted what I had. At this time, I also noticed that my fiance is having a lot more plans with his friends. I mean, he would hang out with his friends maybe like once every week and a half. But now he had plans with his friends like every other day-ish. And when I asked him about it, he was like, well, you know, I just really want to spend time with the boys before I'm a married man. I was like, what about being a married man is going to change anything about you hanging out with the boys? Like, you can still hang out with your friends. And anytime we were all together, I noticed that my fiance and Camille were just always giggling, talking to each other, just laughing away. Seemed like they had all these inside jokes, but I actually wasn't concerned at all because I loved that my best friend and my fiance had gotten so close over the wedding planning process. Stupid of me. So stupid. So the day of my wedding comes and we're all getting ready, and Camille is miserable. She looks absolutely checked out, doesn't want to be there, is being short with everyone, is being so rude. And I was thinking that just maybe this wedding was a lot for her. It was bringing up feelings about her breakup, but Jenna was having to do all of the stuff that a maid of honor would do to help a bride get ready on their wedding day, because Camille was just not willing to help with anything. She was just going to sit in the corner and scroll on her phone, and that was that. At some point, Camille just gets up and walks out of the room without saying anything to anyone. And honestly, I was thankful that happened, because I was like, this is probably good. She can just go take some space that she needs, because she was just really bringing the vibe down in the whole room. And I was just trying to have a good time and enjoy getting ready for my wedding, but it was just not really possible when she was sulking in the corner. And after about an hour goes by, I realize that Camille is still not back. So I start to get worried. I'm asking everyone, have you seen Camille? And all my bridesmaids are telling me, do not worry about this right now. This is your day. We will go find her. We'll figure this out, but this is not your concern right now. You just need to finish getting ready, try and just be in a good mood. And I tried really hard to just let it go, but I just kept thinking, like, where is she? Like, what's going on? Finally, it is time for me to walk down the aisle, and Camille is still nowhere to be found. So at this point, I'm assuming she just bailed. I've texted her. She hasn't responded. I've called her, went straight to voicemail. So I was like, you know what? She clearly decided she doesn't want to be here, and I just have to deal with that and try and put it off right now so I can go and get married. So we all move into the little room that you go to right before you're supposed to walk down the aisle, and I'm so excited. I feel like I'm living in a fairy tale. I'm about to marry my best friend. Life is good. And that's when Jenna walks in the room, and the look on her face, I've never seen anything like it. She looked absolutely sick. She was so pale, and she looked like she was about to start crying and throw up at the same time. So I'm asking her, what's wrong? What's going on? What happened? And she just says, hey, we need to go step outside and talk about something. So Jenna takes me outside, and she says, there is not going to be a wedding today. And immediately I respond, I'm like, what? Was the venue double booked? Because in my head, I would have never even fathomed the real reason that my wedding was off. She's quiet for a very long time, and that's when she says, no, it's not that. I just got this text from my brother, and he's not here, he's gone. I was like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean he's gone? And that's when she shows me the text message that my fiance sent to her. This text message says, I know you're gonna hate me for this, but I can't get married today. Camille and I have really fallen in love over the last few months, and we've decided that we're just destined to be together. So we're gonna go off the grid for a little bit while this all calms down, and hopefully you'll understand and be able to forgive us both because, you know, we both really love and care about you, and just blah, 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 blah. I was like, well, I'm reading this text message. I said, this is what he said. He didn't send me anything. I didn't get a single text from Camille or my fiance. I think I'm getting pranked. I literally said to Jenna, you know, it's actually not cool to prank a bride right before she walks down the aisle, right? Like, this isn't funny. This isn't funny at all. And that's when Jenna starts sobbing, and I realize that this isn't a prank, and then I also start sobbing, and you can imagine how the next few hours transpired. It was just me having a breakdown in my wedding dress and uncontrollably sobbing. People were trying to console me, but how are you supposed to console somebody in that situation? And finally, I stood up, I took my wedding dress off, and I went home. And I attempted to piece back together the parts of my life that were broken. And it was really hard, but eventually, you know, you do heal. Time heals all wounds, as they say. After the wedding day, no one had heard a word from Camille or my fiance. No one knew where they were, what they were up to. They were just really off the grid. Then about 3.5 months after the wedding fiasco happened, about the point where I wasn't sobbing every single day, I get a knock on my door. I open it up. My ex-fiance, there he is, right in front of me. I thought it was my food delivery, so I was disappointed in a lot of ways, but what went down next was absolutely insane. So let me know if you want to hear that.